her own writing saying getting roofied didn't break me, realizing why I liked it did. And then she's posting this picture of herself in the bathroom. I am getting communal washcloth energy from this photo. She probably took this photo like 5 times. She's on her phone like, oh, damn it, I don't look pathetic enough in this one. Let's try that again. She's desperate for male attention. So anyway, her bio says that she's a chef, content creator in New York City. She's the host of Sinner's Shabbat, a kinky combination of Jewish ritual, burlesque, and nightlife. What can you say about that? I helped design soaps like this one. It's very cute because I made it. And this one is for the guys. This is the Alamau Subject 20. It glows in the dark. The Alamau Subject 20 definitely has a masculine scent to it. It smells very warm and earthy. Those soaps are my favorites right now that I recently designed, but you guys can go check out the website, readsoap.shop, and find yourselves some candles and well-made artisan soaps with very transparent, clean ingredients. So I went over the contents of the article of her basically romanticizing being roofied because she liked the attention from it. That's the gist of the story. And she's with this guy who's a situationship, who won't commit to her, that she clearly wants. And she goes to some sort of EDM concert thing. And a guy at the bar, when she goes to get a Diet Coke, she claims roofied her. I don't know why she accepted a drink from this stranger at the bar when she's here with another guy. So I can see why he's not committing to her, you know, according to her writing, a fat bearded man. She described him like that for a reason, to illustrate the image that he's not very attractive. So you'll just literally take anything. This is just a literal example of her accepting anything, accepting any treatment. But yeah, basically she passes out and she says she liked that she got attention from her situationship after she passed out from drinking a drink she got from another man. And so I point out in the article that she mentions in it that she has some sort of blood sugar problem. And so I'm thinking, well, you were craving a Coke, so you were craving sugar, and then you drink the drink and you pass out. How do you know that you got roofied and you didn't just pass out from low blood sugar or something? There's a potential reality here, a good chance that her blood sugar made her pass out. Because she even mentions in the article that that happened to her before getting dizzy because she didn't eat breakfast. So she went to the nurse's office and drank orange juice. The whole thing felt romantic to me. Fainting gave me everything I was starving for in ways I didn't believe I deserved. By collapsing, by becoming someone fragile, I was suddenly allowed what I had labeled forbidden: touch, attention, and care. I also found her writing style to be a little bit pretentious, which it's a general theme on Substack, I'm noticing. Basically, the morning after, she's enjoying the affection she's getting from her situationship that seems to be emotionally unavailable to her. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So she's basically getting roofied from accepting a drink from another guy while she's there with a guy already. And then once she passes out, this guy, it's implied that her situationship had sex with her limp body or something. Like, this is insane. And she's like, I liked it. And then she mentions going to therapy. That's the thing with all these girls that write these articles. They're all in therapy for good reason. So yeah, Tova, let me know what your therapist thinks of this article. And so seeing all this, you would think there'd be some sense here, but there isn't. In the article replies, it's a bunch of women, just like tens of women, maybe even hundreds, I don't remember. But they're all like, Tova, you're so right for that. You're so valid, queen. And so my conclusion here is that I don't think the oversharing is courageous. I don't think it's stunning and brave. I think it's a desperate attempt to get more attention, and she hasn't learned her lesson. But what I'm getting at is they're selling the intimacy, the parts of themselves that are supposed to stay private. I don't think there's a problem with being vulnerable or sharing some lore about yourself if there's a purpose to it, if there's a point to it. And I don't feel like she made the point that she thinks she did. I know some of the women here disagree because they're like, that's literally me. I let men treat me any kind of way. It's like, did you share it because you learned your lesson, or you're trying to help other people, or at least make them laugh and entertain? I didn't find that to be true with her articles. To me, it felt like she just couldn't afford another therapy session. So are you doing it with good intent, or is this just trauma dumping onto strangers on the internet and then being surprised when someone critiques it? Another one called A Full Guide to Sucking Dick from a Jew Trained by Gays. I pointed out that this flavor of cringe is something that women in particular do that I've noticed. It's most prominent with women, and it's a form of a parasocial relationship. It's sharing a part of yourself that maybe should stay private. Maybe it's a little too intimate. And I do think that all this sort of stuff like live streaming is inherently parasocial, but I think there's a point where it goes too far, and I think Tova is a great example of that. Her other works are similar. This isn't a one-off. She's talking about basically like sex anthropology. I don't know what it is with these women. They all think they're Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. From the schlong-sucking article she posted that was paywalled on Substack, by the way, got her a lot of flack. Today, 1,000 people unfollow me on Instagram for promoting a Substack piece I published today, which was about blowjob tips I gotten from other gay men. She's actually publishing kosher blowjob tips on an article writing app. And she's really not the only one. There's so many girls on here just like posting themselves as if it's like OnlyFans. I don't, this happens to every platform, honestly. Every social media devolves into this excessive hypersexuality where they're all trying to compete for the attention of other men, and then they claim that you're the pick-me for criticizing it, which we'll get into. But she says, the sheer number of hate comments I received was funny, considering Instagram monetizes women's sex constantly without ever giving us a cut. To which I said in the article, there's some truth to that, like with the manosphere, how they profit off of women's sexuality on podcasts while also wagging their finger at their male audience saying, but don't subscribe to it, even though I'm promoting them every day to you. I did give her some leeway there, but I don't think it's true in the context of which she's saying it. Because she's just saying that she doesn't want to be held accountable for giving sucking tips on an article writing app. She says, it's a reminder that the internet isn't afraid of female sexuality. They're afraid of women controlling it, and they should be, because we're taking it back. She's complaining that she lost followers, and she's blaming it on lame misogyny. That's essentially what she's saying, using critical thinking skills here. She didn't literally say the word, but it's basically what she's saying. And my response to that in the article was basically, I can't believe nobody bought my Jewish donger sucking lessons. That's how it came across to me. Like, she thinks that this is premium content and that more people should follow her over it. And it's that lack of self-awareness, really. But yeah, her position is people are afraid of female sexuality. Her response to complaining about people judging her for her sexuality is to proceed to judge men for theirs. So she says, in response to my article, something along the lines of, oh, teamwork, babe. And then she says, just buy me a drink and admit you're obsessed with me. I would have just kissed and made up, cutie. This article is overkill now. And the funny thing is, with this article, and just generally speaking, when I make content, I notice there's always people who say like, oh, you went too hard. And without fail, every time it turns out that I should have went harder. And I make sure that when I do my first shot that I am pulling back a little bit. It's interesting to me that people tell me that I need to tone it down when I've already toned it down. This is just how I am. But yeah, the person usually proves me right that I should have went harder. And this is a great instance of that. So in response to her telling me that I should buy her a drink, I say, Tova, this desperation is unbecoming. And she's kind of feeding into what I had criticized in the first place about her writing, that she comes across very desperate. And she says, unbecoming might more accurately describe the post you've been putting on the internet in what appears to be a bid for validation from an incel audience that has already written you off as irrelevant. It's very interesting that she's accusing me of exactly what she's doing. And what that thing is, bidding for male attention. Like, what more of a male-centered thing could you do than to give dick-sucking tips behind a paywall on Substack? But I'm the pick-me here, right? I'm the one pining over a quote incel audience. And so that's what I was saying earlier about, it's so funny how she's upset that people are judging her for her sexuality, for essentially doing what's another flavor of e-prostitution. And yet she's criticizing men who don't have sex with women. And she fails to see the hypocrisy there. Or maybe she did, and that's why she deleted her comments. Your sudden interest in chasing my clout feels less like commentary and more like floundering, babe. Borrowing my relevance will only take you so far. So now she's appealing to relevance. And I noticed that a lot of people, if I critique them, that seems to be their go-to, is to mention my relevance. But to me, it seems like she is the one who's desperate for relevance when she has to post paid Jewish sucking courses on an article writing app. And then she also posted in the carousel, not only this screenshot of me saying I've never seen an attractive Indian man, which is true. Like, maybe one exists, but I haven't seen it. What's wrong with me saying that? I'm not allowed to have opinions. I'm not allowed to say that. But you know, it's in humor, which I doubt she has much of, considering that she has to resort to these things for her own relevance, and then point at other people saying, no, you're the one desperate for relevance. No, you. She follows up in her own Substack group chat. A lot of you have been sending me an article an alt-right influencer wrote about me. While I appreciate the heads up, I ask that you refrain from engaging. I'm not in the business arguing people who proudly hang out white supremacy corner of the internet, say the N-word online, or throw around blatantly anti-Semitic slurs. I don't remember writing a slur in the article. In fact, I don't remember even ever saying the word kite. But anyway, she says, feel free to save your energy, touch grass, eat a bagel, call your mother, whatever brings you peace. Giving these people clicks only fuels the fire. You're so right. Thank you so much for fueling my fire. Free content, Tova. Thank you so much.